coming up on the April 12th edition of Carolina Week.
Firefighters have made some alarming discoveries inside Carolina fraternity houses.
Chapel Hill is going one bus ride further to help with the rising gas prices.
These stories and more.
Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the April 12th edition of Carolina Week. I'm Dana Hackett.
And I'm Jenny McClendon. Our top story tonight, fire safety is a big issue in the Greek community, especially after a fire at Phi Gamma Delta fraternity killed 5 Carolina students back in 1996. But lately, local firefighters are finding reminders that fire safety isn't always the first thing on people's minds. Firefighters found plastic cups over alarms at Phi Gamma Delta and sawdust in the basement of Sigma Chi. Since the 1996 fire, Greek housing regulations have become more strict and include mandatory installation of sprinkler systems and routine inspections. Kappa Sigma had a perfect inspection in February, but President Eddie Thomas says the focus on fire safety changes every year.
I think a lot of it has to do with the changeover from year to year between officers in the house and just uncertainty about what fire inspections, the codes are, and certain issues with that.
Greek houses are owned by private corporations and ultimately aren't controlled by the university. If a group does have an excessive number of fire violations, the university will send a warning letter.
City leaders are looking for new ways to help residents get around the hill and keep it greener at the same time. Chapel Hill's Department of Transportation is test driving a new hybrid bus that could significantly reduce air pollution. The new bus accelerates using electricity, then switches to diesel power, producing less exhaust. It's 5 feet longer than the older model, has wider aisles and more headroom, and actually has more power. But town officials say the current buses already use clean burning kerosene instead of diesel fuel and cost nearly $150,000 less per bus. They say they might wait until the cost of hybrid comes down before making any purchases. Whether the hybrid joins the fleet or not, officials say in-town rides will stay fare-free.
The university's competitive bidding practices have come into question after an auditor said UNC didn't follow state rules. When the university needed Kenan Stadium pressure washed, it hired a company to do the work but didn't open up the contract for other companies to bid. North Carolina requires the university to take bids for service contracts more than $5,000. While the pressure washing only cost around $2,000, the university has allowed the same company to do the work for the last 3 years, which in the end exceeds the $5,000 requirement.
Donald Trump is looking not only for the new apprentice, but also for the next Miss USA, and a student right here at UNC wants that job. Monday night, Ashley Palayo, a graduate student in the UNC School of Dentistry, will compete for the title of Miss USA. Palayo is the reigning Miss North Carolina. She will have to beat out 50 other young women from across the nation to be hired as Miss USA. Top points in interview, swimsuit, and evening gown will determine the winner. The pageant airs live on NBC Monday at 9 p.m.
If you haven't caught senioritis yet, this week's your chance to catch the fever. Senior Week starts Monday and events are planned all week long. On Monday, seniors can check out the Edward Kidder Graham Awards starting at 5:30 in the George Watts Hill Alumni Center. Tuesday, the seniors will present their class gift at noon at the Old Well. Seniors will have a full day of fun Wednesday at the Bell Tower, where those who have yet to attempt the Bell Tower climb will get their last chance. Thursday, you can register for a membership to the GAA starting at 10 a.m. at Polk Place and later enjoy dinner at the Alumni Center. Senior Week will close out with a bang on Friday at the Carolina Inn for the Senior Ball. Seniors can buy tickets for $13 a piece or $25 a couple.
Well, you usually think of viruses as causing the flu.
But one virus could carry the cure for some serious diseases.
Daddy, why is the sky blue?
Well, to match your pretty eyes.
Nope, not even close. See, all colors colors have wavelengths that are diffused by oxygen and nitrogen. Since blue is the shortest wavelength, it's diffused up to 10 times more.
Who taught you that?
Mommy?
By age 12, too many girls lose interest in math and science and their chance at future jobs. Keep her interest alive.
You know why mathematics is the basis of life as we know it?
You tell me.
It's her future. Do the math.
A federal judge will rule Monday whether to support a ban on the sale of ephedra, a controversial dietary supplement linked to 155 deaths. Last month, the makers of Stacker 2 ephedra banned products filed a lawsuit to block the ban. However, signs like this one are up in locations selling ephedra in anticipation of the judge supporting the ban. GNC stopped selling the product last summer to avoid liability. Manager Ed Shanks explains the way many people have had problems with the herb.
They tend to believe, well, if one pill will help me lose 10 pounds, then 4 pills will help me lose 40 pounds. But that's not the way it is.
Shanks says ephedra is stronger and more effective than similar ephedra-free products and could be safe if used correctly, but availability depends on Monday's court ruling.
Scientists use gene therapy to replace defective genes that cause disease with working ones. UNC researchers say they now have a new method for conducting this type of therapy. Carolina Week's Nora Warren has the details.
UNC scientists say they are now one step closer to safely using gene therapy to cure diseases such as hemophilia and cystic fibrosis. This is according to a new study conducted by researchers in UNC's Gene Therapy Center. The key is a non-pathogenic virus called the adeno-associated virus, or AAV, that can be used to transport genes into and out of cells. Dr. Jude Samolsky is a co-author of the study, which was published in the March issue of Molecular Therapy magazine.
As genetic engineers, when we build viruses to put back into people, we got to be very concerned about what the delivery agent itself will do as far as have an impact on the cells.
A virus acts like this van. Genes are loaded into the virus's DNA where they will be transported into a cell. Once in the cell, working genes replace the defective ones. But if the virus is also carrying a pathogen, the patient could get sick. The study compared different viruses to determine their effects on cells. Researchers found that AAV has no effect on cells, so it can act as a safe carrier for genes without infecting a patient with another sickness.
So it basically coexists with the cell in a relationship that didn't create this type of stress response.
Samolsky says the report could speed up the process of finding cures for some diseases because researchers can stop studying other viruses. In Chapel Hill, I'm Nora Warren, Carolina Week.
For more information about research at UNC, log on to our website at carolinaweek.org.
If you own a pet, you could be paying a little more next year. Last week, legislators revealed the draft for what some are calling the puppy chow penalty. The plan calls for a tax hike on pet food between 2 and 10 cents a bag. The money would go to spaying and neutering programs in North Carolina and to upgrade animal shelters. The tax is expected to generate about $8 million. Lawmakers will vote on the bill later this month.
Well, the school year is about to wind down, and that means Carolina Sports is as well.
That's
Carolina
true.
Sports anchor Brad Lewis joins us. Tell us
What's going on, Brad?
Well, obviously, there's a lot of dogs running around. That's why we need a new tax. Also, a lot of sports this weekend, which is why with all the sports going on this weekend, it's no wonder that UNC has one of the highest number of varsity sports. That brings us to our sports trivia question this week. Which university has more varsity sports than UNC? Stanford, UVA, Florida, or Texas? We'll find out when Carolina Week Sports returns.
I give you a 20. I'm sure of it. You're stupid.
Children are influenced by what they see adults do. Remember, a child may be watching you.
Properly inflating my tires burns less fuel and saves me money on gas. Yeah, I'm saving Mother Nature from pollution, but more importantly, she saved me $11. Ow!
Environmental defense. Get green.
By keeping my car regularly tuned, I save money on gas and repairs. That also means cleaner air. You know, feels good to help save the cash, planet.
Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
The number 5 ranked men's lacrosse team was looking to break a 2-game skid at home Saturday against the defending national champions, 15th ranked Virginia. But Cavalier Matt Ward has other ideas. Ward has a monster game and scores 5 goals, including this acrobatic shot. But the Heels counter with teamwork. That extra pass makes all the difference. Even the best knockdown of the match involves a little Tar Heel teamwork. Back to the scoring. This goal by Scott Falatak, oh, that's silly. Between the legs, embarrassing. 9 different Heels score goals as they beat the Cavs 11-9. Goalie Paul Spellman knew his team needed a big home win.
Big win for us. We needed that bad. We haven't won at home yet. We were 0-2. We were 5-1 on the road, so it's good to get one here at Fetzer Field. Real good.
Speaking of needing a win, the 15th ranked women's lacrosse team hosted 10th ranked Vanderbilt Friday afternoon, with both teams looking to solidify their NCAA tournament hopes. Vanderbilt tried to stomp out any hope of a Tar Heel win in the first half with 6 goals, but the Tar Heels played the Commodores point for point, and at the break it was 6-5 Vanderbilt. In the second half, same story for Vandy, different story for the Heels. Vanderbilt continued its offensive production. The Heels did not, as they limped away with a 12-8 loss. If you still haven't gotten enough lacrosse this year, the 2004 Men's and Women's ACC Lacrosse Championships will be held at Henry Stadium in Chapel Hill on April 23rd and 25th. Practice? Are we talking about practice? Not quite. Carolina Week reporter Alex Hurst investigates what other routines UNC athletes go through to prepare for competition.
All athletes have routines. The pitcher during warm-ups, the basketball player shooting free throws, the quarterback throwing the football. But for most athletes, the more meaningful routines take place in the locker room before the game. Some more complicated than others.
I'll take you through my pregame routine. I come to the stadium every day, and I get dressed the same exact way. And I have a batting practice glove that I use, and I always stand in the left field line with my teammate Michael Gross.
I got a little techno routine. Every time before games, I get the techno going. It just calms me down, makes me feel all loose inside.
When that's done, I put my glove back in my cubby hole, and I head to the right field line and do my running. When I come back, when I'm done with that, I put my jersey on and go catch pregame for the position players because I'm a pitcher.
And when I came here, my coach told me that we need to learn how to juggle. And I kind of looked at him and I was like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right." So we learn how to juggle. So every day I come out, hop on the wall and juggle a little bit to focus my attention on the ball. And it helps for the most part.
And then when I'm done with that, I get my game glove and I go and throw with my roommate for 4 years, Whitley Benson. Every single day, we've been doing it for 4 years.
I'm not the big meathead kind of guy who's got to go out here rah stuff. I like to be relaxed, calm down. That techno music helps me just start feeling it, you know?
And then when I'm done throwing with Whitley, I come back and I put my spikes in my cubby hole on the left side and my glove on the right side, and I put some sleeves on, just sit in the dugout until I'm called down to the bullpen later in the game. Every day.
Have you ever walked under a ladder or opened an umbrella indoors and someone told you were going to have bad luck? Why? Superstition. As you can tell, the same is true for some of Carolina's athletes. In Chapel Hill, I'm Alex Hurst, Carolina Week Sports.
Now, I don't believe in any superstitions, but I hope Alex doesn't have any bad luck after walking under that ladder. Knock on wood. Coming up in sports, action from the Diamond as both the Carolina baseball and softball teams hit the field. Plus, the women's tennis team tries to stay above 500 in the ACC with 2 matches over the weekend. More when Carolina Week Sports returns.
Hey, I was checking you out, and I was thinking, how about you come out to my car and we can have a couple beers, fool around a little bit. You know, I could give you herpes.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. MAD, face the brutal truth about underage drinking.
What services come to mind when you think of the American Red Cross?
The Red Cross does blood drives, don't they?
They help out with natural disasters.
Giving blood.
Tornadoes and hurricanes.
Blood.
Natural disasters.
I'll bet you didn't know that the American Red Cross also provides emergency services for military families and delivers health and safety instruction in first aid, lifeguard training, and CPR. Contact your local Red Cross chapter to learn more about the services they provide.
The softball team faced a new yet familiar face Friday when NC State came to town. It's the Wolfpack's first year with a softball team, so this was the first time the two rivals faced each other. In the first game of the doubleheader, defense was tenacious from both teams. There were no runs until NC State came alive in the third inning with 2 home runs. The Pack was up 2-1 when senior Dion Street nailed a home run for a Heels score. Her effort proved contagious as senior Emily Price let fly another homer. Down 5-1 with bases loaded, Price hit what the umpire called a foul ball. She swung again and struck out, giving NC State the 5-2 victory in the bottom of the 7th. Head coach Donna Papa gave umpire John Constable an earful after the game. Following the loss against NC State, UNC faced Maryland on Sunday. The Heels took the first game as Crystal Cox pitched the shutout. They also won the second game, improving their record to 35-15 for the season. The Lady Tar Heels are now 5-1 in the ACC. The Carolina baseball team didn't fare quite as well as their female counterparts. The Heels led in every single game over the weekend against Georgia Tech, but only managed to win their first game against the Jackets. The weekend losses were the Heels' first back-to-back losses since late February. 2 ACC matches in 2 days for the women's tennis team. Would those short rests hurt the Heels' chances of a high seed in the ACC tournament? Friday, Carolina looks to avoid the sting of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Number 1 doubles makes it look easy. After blowing a 6-1 lead at number 3, Sarah Anderson says enough of this and grabs the doubles point for the Heels. In singles, Aniela Mojic attacks the net and accruises the victory, but fans watch the lower-seeded singles struggle. Head coach Brian Calbus tells Caitlin Collins, "We need your point," and Collins responds with big forehands for the win. Kendall Klein has just enough aces up her sleeve to help Carolina win 5-2. Saturday, the undefeated Clemson Tigers are in town, which is a bit like playing the French Foreign Legion, as both the assistant coach and 2 players are from France. That leads to a bit of a communication breakdown, but Mojic clearly says, "I must break you." The rest of the Heels look frozen in their tracks, though. Seniors Lee Barrows and Kendrick Bunn don't close out their last home match very well, as the Tigers end up snaring the doubles point. In singles, not much better for Barrows or Bunn, as both rack up unforced errors and watch Clemson pound UNC 6-1. With 1 win and 1 loss over the weekend, the Heels fall to 4-4 in the ACC. Carolina will be seeded 4th in this week's ACC tournament and will take on 5th-seeded Georgia Tech Friday at noon in Raleigh. The Heels could have used a little bit of Phil Mickelson this weekend at the Courtyard by Marriott Intercollegiate in Cary. Duke and NC State placed above the Heels, claiming 1st and 4th places. Sophomore Kevin Silva shot 4 under for the tourney, tying for 7th in individual play. Almost everyone has heard the phrases touchdown, slam dunk, and home run. But what about wet pass and egg beater? Carolina Week's Amanda Seeley has the story of one of the more uncommon sports at UNC.
Water polo is well known around the world, but in Chapel Hill, the UNC club water polo team is trying to increase the popularity of this dominantly West Coast sport. Graduate student Claire Townsend knows that the East Coast pays more attention to other sports than water polo.
It's sort of like how lacrosse is over here, out on the West Coast. Nobody really knows, people have heard of it, some people play, but not really.
Well, what are the rules? Players definitely can't touch the bottom. They're treading in 14 feet of water for 4 7-minute periods. Players can only throw and catch the ball with one hand, and it can't be brought underwater. And like in every other sport, fouling is an art. Goalie John Martin says the underwater action is the best part.
Definitely the stuff that goes on underneath the water. There's a lot of suit grabbing, there's a lot of pulling on the people's legs, there's a lot of just like pinching and pulling at hair. It's a dirty sport, and that's, I think, the most interesting thing that most people don't know about because you don't see it when you're watching.
Carolina's team is really an eclectic mix of men, women, graduate, and undergrads. The team even has players from Singapore and Barbados. Team member Mark Canton enjoyed his college water polo days so much that he just couldn't stay away.
It's a great way for people to come in, burn some calories, have a good time, and bond for their college experience. It was always one of my favorite times in college.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Amanda Seeley, Carolina Week Sports.
The water polo team showed off some of its skill at home this past weekend, but got dunked by the competition, swimming away with just 1 victory out of 4 games. Now, the water polo is a club sport here. It's obviously not a varsity sport, so it doesn't count for UNC. Anybody got an answer to the sports trivia question this week?
Well, everything seems to be a little bit bigger in Texas, so want to try D?
I'll go with D.
It's not Texas, actually. It's a good guess, but Stanford is actually the answer. Stanford is the only university to have more sports than UNC. They have 33 varsity water polo. Also, men's and women's sailing counts at Stanford. Carolina only has 26.
All right. Interesting.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Brad. Well, rain might call a game off,
but this Carolina club can't get enough when the surf's up.
When you buy disposable and overpackaged products for your home, you're really saying, I'm fine with depleting natural resources. Pollute our air and water. Energy? Wasted. People tell you, hey, go for less packaging. Check out reusables. Buy stuff in bulk. Well, you tell them, no thanks. I'd rather throw it all away. Buy smart, waste less, save more.
Recycling a glass bottle saves enough energy to run the TV you're watching for 1 full hour. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world. Making a can from recycled aluminum instead of from raw materials reduces air pollution by 95%. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world. Recycling all our Sunday papers would save over 500,000 trees a week. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world.
Well, spring is finally here, and some students are making plans to hit the beach.
But one Carolina club has been taking in the sand and surf all year. Carolina Week reporter Allie Schmidt has more.
Kahaya has been going to the beach to surf for years, but this year, since he joined the new Carolina Surfing Club, he has a little more company.
And we come down to the beach, Wrightsville Beach, almost every weekend. Every weekend there's somebody who comes down, and we just go surfing, just have a good time.
The 15-member club is beginning to grow, and members say you don't have to be an expert to join.
Pretty much anybody who's interested in anything about surfing can join. We got a lot of people that haven't ever surfed before, and they're just looking to learn, and that's what it's all about.
Members of the club traveled as far away as Costa Rica this spring break to surf, but the club has activities in Chapel Hill as well.
We're trying to get organized like workouts where we just kind of work out together and try to do any type of surf training activities. And I was thinking it'd be a good idea to watch surf videos and work out at the same time, so you get pumped up just watching the people surf. And everybody thought that was a pretty good idea.
Kahaya expects club activities to pick up as the water temperature starts to warm up, but he and the current members are content surfing year-round. In Wilmington, I'm Allie Schmidt, Carolina Week.
Club members grab their boards and head to the coast just about every weekend.
And for more information on joining the surf club, visit our website at carolinaweek.org.
You know, between the water polo and the surfing club, I'm pretty impressed. This is some serious athletic ability we're seeing.
Definitely. I wish it was something I can do, but I need to focus on passing that swim test
I know,
first.
me too. I'm just thinking it's Friday, last chance, seniors at the Natatorium 9 to 4. Better go if you want to graduate.
Definitely.
We'll be there. That does it for this edition of Carolina Week. Watch Carolina Week Wednesday for more.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.
Good night.